everyone, Sparrow Vision. It's time for another paranormal hour. This next story is the 911 call. This family moved into this neighborhood with full of kids and families, and everybody was so happy and joyful, and everybody got along, and every season everybody would join in and celebrate and decorate their house. Every Halloween was a special day in that neighborhood. They would decorate even especially more and more at Halloween than any other season. Now, as the kids got older, they started noticing their toys were being played with. And every now and then you could hear this kid laughing and having fun and just enjoying, and they couldn't understand where it was coming from. They thought other kids in their neighborhood were just playing tricks and pranks, so they kind of like shrugged it off. But then they noticing that their toys were being misplaced, not on the shelf where they would normally leave them, being left on the floor or under a bed or even in the hallway. As the kids got older, they didn't celebrate Halloween quite so much. They didn't celebrate hardly anything like the other people in the neighborhood. Then the laughter of the kid playing was filled with an eerie feeling. And every now and then they would hear this creepy kid playing Ring Around the Rosie. They would look and look and look where the sound was coming from, but they couldn't find it. But every now and then around Halloween, they would hear that. Then the man of the house, he started asking around, hey, has there been any incidences going on with the families who lived here before us? At that time, the next door neighbor said, well, just do us a favor. When Halloween comes, decorate your house like everybody else and pass out candy. Now, when the kids got older and moved out, now it was just the woman and man of the house, no kids. They didn't celebrate anymore. They didn't decorate their house anymore for any seasons or anything. When Halloween came, they didn't decorate the house. They didn't open up the door for kids, for trick or treat. They didn't do any of that. Then at midnight, the 911 call center got a call.
911, what's your emergency?
And all the woman heard on the other end was this child screaming. Nothing else. No words, no voice, no anything. So all she could do was send everybody to the house. Police cars, ambulance, everybody was now rushing to this house to find out what was going on with this kid. When everybody showed up, they banged on the door, and when this lady opened up the door with a sweet voice, just like nothing.
Hello, can I help you?
She didn't know what was going on. The officer told her, we got to come in and check on your kids because we got this call that their kid was in danger. And she tried to tell them, our kids are grown up and gone. We don't have kids here. It's just me and my husband. But they forced their way in anyway, and they searched and they searched and they searched, but they couldn't find anything. So they had to leave. When they left, the next door neighbor come over and told them, I told you, you have to celebrate Halloween or he'll come back. And the man of the house was like, who'll come back? He'll come back. And he left, and the guy slammed the door. Next Halloween came. Again, they did not celebrate Halloween. No decorations, no lights, no passing out candy. At midnight, again, the 911 call center
what's your emergency?
got the call, and all they heard was the kid screaming, screaming, screaming. And again, all they could do is dispatch everybody to go to the house. there is a child in danger. That's all they knew. They didn't know anything else. So they did. They sent everybody. Now the neighborhood was filled with all these police officers and ambulances, and everybody started coming out to find out what was going on. And again, they knocked on the door, and the sweet lady came to the door. She didn't know what was going on. So she came to the door, and all she said was,
"Can I help you?"
and now the cops were like, you know what? This is the second time in 2 years we came here to this 911 call of a kid needing help. If you do this again, you will be charged with the misuse of the 911 call. Now this time the man of the house got very furious, and he told the officer, you do what you got to do. We are not making these calls. It's not us. Somebody else is making the call, but it's not us. Again, the neighbor told him, I told you, you have to celebrate Halloween. You have to pass out candy or he'll come. Again, the man of the house slammed the door in his face. Halloween came around, no candy, no decorations. And at midnight,
911, what's your emergency?
it started all over again. The same child screaming. The dispatcher had no choice, but had to call for everybody to go to the house to find out what's going on with this kid, to make sure this kid is safe. Now this time, when the officers got there, they wasn't nice. They barged their way in the house. They arrested the woman, the man, and charged them with the misuse of the 911 call. Now when they got to court, the prosecutor said, you know what? If you plead guilty to the misuse of the 911, you'll pay a fine, you'll do community service, and that'll be the end of it. But they said, but we didn't do anything wrong. We're not going to plead guilty to something we didn't do. Their attorney said, you know what? I believe in you, and I believe there's something going on. So we are going to investigate this. I'm going to hire a private investigator to find out what's going on. We're going to search phone records. We're going to search past history calls. We're going to search everything we can to help you. So when the private investigator started searching everything, he found out that in the 1950s, the family would celebrate Halloween. Everything was fine. But the one time they didn't, the kid would call the police and prank and call for help. So the dispatcher was saying everybody. And again, nothing was wrong. Again, the next Halloween, they did not celebrate. Again, the kid would call the police and do again the screaming, I need help, I need help. Everybody would come. Now, the guy of the house had PTSD, and he found out who the kid was. And he went over and killed the kid. Killed him for making the prank 911 call. And now the guy is in prison for life for killing the kid. Now the woman couldn't live there anymore because they didn't want her in the neighborhood, so she moved out. When this next family moved in, everybody was happy and you know, just having fun and enjoying. As long as they celebrated Halloween, especially Halloween, everything was fine. But the moment they did not celebrate Halloween is when everything started happening. And that's when the neighbor told them, if you don't celebrate Halloween, he'll come. That's why at Halloween time, I make sure I decorate my house, I pass out candy, and I celebrate Halloween. I don't want anybody making any calls or visiting my house or haunting my family because I would not pass out candy. Thank you for listening.